Hello and welcome back to my Gold Award. So my name is Madison O'Neill and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a Sani-Pani for little dresses for Africa. So here's their pattern that they provide on the website. A link to how to access this will be provided in the description box down below. And it'll come with two pieces of paper. One is the pattern to scale, and the other one is the instructions. So I'm going to start by cutting out the flannel pattern and the lining pattern pieces, just right on the dotted line, right as you see them. Then I'm going to lay the flannel pattern circle or oval onto a flannel pillowcase that I have. So you can see that there's two. The pillowcase is as is, but if you had a piece of flannel fabric, you'd want to fold it in half so that you cut out two pieces of the flannel pattern. So I'm pinning it down to hold it in place while I cut. It'd be smart to do that as well. And you can just follow along with me and we'll do it together. Careful not to poke yourself. All right, now I'm going to take my superficial sewing scissors and cut all the way around that pattern, getting as close without dipping under the piece of paper. You kind of want to, when you're using sewing scissors, you want to avoid cutting the paper as well. Sewing scissors and paper do not mix. But as you can see, I'm getting really close, but I didn't go under it so that the size is still maintained. Take out the pins, remove the pattern. Now I have two pieces. You see bad side and then good side. Now I have the lining pattern. This is a roll of cotton batting. And I'm cutting just a big strip, a bit bigger than the actual width that I need it, folding it in half, and I'm going to cut two at a time because cutting more than two will kind of make your figure a little bit wonky. They say on the pattern that you can actually trace it in Sharpie and it'll be a little bit easier to cut out. It's totally personal preference. I think I prefer it either way. Tracing it or pinning it down didn't really make a difference for me, but I just wanted to show you guys another way to do it. You can also do this for the flannel as well, but it was kind of hard to like keep everything lined up when I was tracing it. So you'll go ahead and cut that out. Like I said, we'll do it together. Nice and easy. And just make two pairs of that. So you'll have four in total, four pieces of the cotton batting. So now I have all my pieces laid out and I'm going to stack all of the cotton batting pieces together, one on top of the other, and kind of just straighten them up, line them up as much as possible. Flip one of your flannel pieces over so bad side is facing up, and then place the batting right on the piece of flannel right in the middle. And then place another piece of flannel good side up right on top. So you kind of made like this little sandwich with the good sides facing out. Good sides meaning the side where the pattern of the flannel is most visible. You want to pin those in place. I only needed, I think, 4 pins to really hold everything, and the rest is pretty much based on stitches. This is super easy to sew together. So I'm setting my sewing machine to a zigzag stitch, as you can see there, and I'm going to set it up so that it's right on the edge. My needle's right on the edge, and I'm gonna zigzag, backstitch. Backstitching is very important. You don't want anything to unravel. And I'm gonna go all the way around so that the zigzag hits on one side of the zig, and then when it zags, it kind of falls off of the edge of the fabric. So you can kind of see how it's hitting on the fabric and then hitting off the fabric. And what this is going to do is it's going to kind of, you're like zigzagging over the edge of the fabric, over that edge line, so that you can, it will like cinch it closed almost. It's like doing a whip stitch on the sewing machine. So you're just kind of going right around the edge to seal it up. And it's possible that you're going to miss spots. I believe I missed a spot here on the corner. It's kind of hard to maneuver. Sometimes you'll have to put your needle down, lift up the foot, pivot, and then put the foot back down and keep going. And that's okay. You can see me do that on that corner. So again, to pivot, you'll make sure the needle is down, lift up the foot, pivot the fabric where you want it to go, and then put the foot back down and continue on sewing. Make sure to backstitch at the beginning and end of your project. That means putting it in reverse and sewing over, and then sewing forward again. So you're doing like a 1-2 forward, 1-2 back, 1-2 forward again. And you can see I'm all done, but I missed a corner. That's what I was talking about before, because I didn't see it because it was short on one side. That's okay. I'll go back in, put my foot down, sew, backstitch, sew again right over the corner that I missed, and then backstitch again, and it's good to take out. Super easy, super forgiving. Now I will turn my sewing machine to the straight stitch option, just a normal straight stitch, and I'm going to line it up from what looks like the middle. I kind of based it off of the flannel pattern of the pillowcase. And I'm just gonna backstitch again and sew a straight line all the way down the Sani-Pani. This is for absorption purposes. They say this in the instructions, like this is what you're supposed to do. So just sew all the way down, backstitch at the end, and lift up the foot and the needle, pull it out, and we're good. So now I can cut it, cut the thread. There we go. And we are pretty much all done. Just want to trim your excess threads. It's super easy to trim threads as you go instead of saving them all for the end. So I highly recommend doing that after each sewing step. Trim your thread. And there's the finished Sani-Pani. So you just want to take 2 safety pins if you have, the large kind. And I'm putting them right on the bottom on the flip side of my Sani-Pani. It doesn't really matter, but I'm only going through one layer so that it doesn't poke through on the other side. You know, no one wants a piece of metal stuck to them. Little Dresses for Africa website also recommends that you send along some underwear, and they give you size recommendations. I'm almost positive that they give you size recommendations, so you can send underwear along with your Sani-Pani. And that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see what you make.